Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your spiritual tarot reading. We're going to go ahead and get started. Scorpio, gosh, when I was meditating on the energy, I almost fell asleep. So I don't know if some of y'all are just feeling sleepy or you could use some really good night's sleep or, sleep could be therapeutic because it allows our mind to rest. And if you've had a lot running through your mind, it makes you feel tired, right? So like when our mind tends to run amok, especially if it's thinking about negative thoughts or the negative aspect of something, it actually creates fatigue within the mind, but also within the body. And that's why we get tired. We're actually, in Source's eyes, we have source energy running through us at all times, which means we should never really get tired. But because sometimes we let our thoughts get the best of us and things get a little complicated, it's time, it kind of tells the body to shut down so that the mind can relax, so that you can go to sleep, so that you can detach and disconnect from life for a minute. And that's why people who suffer with depression and anxiety tend to nap a lot or be tired a lot or sleep a lot or have this restless, fidgety vibe if they don't sleep. That could lead to even insomnia. But even if you have insomnia, you're still tired all the time. And it's just simply not, it's really because you're not replenishing the energy and you're not giving yourself time to really quiet the mind long enough so that you can start anew, right? And as I say anew, I cannot make this up. The first house came out, which is all about new chapters. So let's get straight into it, Scorpio, because there's messages already coming in. Give your mind a rest, give a situation a rest. Meditate, I talk about meditation all the time because it's seriously the simplest thing you can do that will have the greatest impact on your life in a positive way. And it's because it quiets the mind. And why is that important? Because you create your reality through the way that you think, through the thoughts that you're thinking. And so if you got a messy mind or you're overthinking something or you're just not in a good mental space, that means that you might be creating circumstances and situations that you're not really going to like when you finally arrive at them. However, if you could just simply step away from that or refocus your thoughts, if you can't meditate, but ideally meditate and just quiet the mind for 10 to 15 minutes, it stops the chatter long enough that it resets your vibration. It's almost like a reset button. And then when you come out of the meditation, you have a much higher likelihood of thinking different thoughts, of being able to reframe your perspective for a second onto positive thoughts, what you would like to happen, and actually move the energy enough to move the outcome of the situation. This is how we consciously manifest, right? And it begins in the mind. And so if you're feeling a sense of exhaustion, you're feeling a sense of fatigue, it's because you're not paying attention to what you're giving focus to. And it's a sign to you to take a break and relax and begin again, begin anew. You're born anew every single day that you wake up. You have a new opportunity, a new life, a new chance. You need to look at each day as that, right? Because with the first house showing up, this is all about your outlook, how you choose to see life, your perception. It also talks about being consciously aware of self and how you express yourself and how you express those opinions. It can be like an awakening vibe as well. So some of you are awakening to some new ideas about how life could be, about your own self-image and who you want to portray yourself as. This is also a time period of recreating your self-image, Scorpio, which you should know how to do better than anyone else because you're the Phoenix, right? So Scorpios, you'll be having like 5 different personas in one life, or like 5 major life experiences. I don't know why they're giving me the number 5. Some of you, it is actually 5. Okay. But you know what I mean? Like, you are the queens and kings of death and rebirth. And so you know this better than anyone. So it's like almost like an overhaul of self going on, which is a big deal, right? But it's also invigorating. So you could see this as stressful if you want to, or you could choose a different thought. You could choose to see this as an ability to start over, you know, a clean slate to, you know, begin again. So let's see, Scorpio, what else we have coming in? I'm going to go into the head space, and then we're going to look at the heart space and the big spiritual picture. So Scorpio, first card out. Yes, it's you. It's the death and rebirth card. It's all about you right now. It's all about self. This card is all about self, which actually reminds me of the Virgo reading. So if you are dealing with a Virgo or have Virgo in your chart, check out their reading as well. Because that reading was all about like being a friend to self. Okay. So let's see what else we have coming in for Scorpio. The Knight of Swords. Don't mind my dogs. Sorry, I don't know why they always go crazy during your reading. The World card. And the Magician. So this is that complete overhaul. This is that complete change, right? This is like closing a chapter and beginning anew. Scorpio, gosh. First of all, if there's something on your mind that you've been wanting to communicate, just communicate it. Just say it. You know, open the door of opportunity here. There's been some hesitation around maybe expressing yourself fully, and that's one of the things you're needing to come out of. The bad habit of suppressing what it really is that you have on your heart and on your mind. So I feel like it's time to rise up here and be your authentic self. And that means clearly communicating what it is that you're wanting in your life right now so that you can manifest it. But first you got to get clear. First you got to get clear in your mind what it is that you're really feeling. Because some of you, you've overthought something or you've overexhausted yourself. So after you maybe have a good night's sleep or a good meditation, then let the words come to you, right? Because I feel you're ready for change, okay? And why am I getting a whole new world? You want to change your world? A whole new world. Sorry. Something about that coming through. Okay, so the message that's coming through behind that is there's only one thing required to change your world, and that is to change your perspective or your thoughts about it. And so again, they're bringing me back to it begins here in the mind space, and not to forget that, right? But here you are in manifestation mode. So you are the creator of your own experience. But that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing, depending on how well you've trained your thoughts. So ask yourself, stop and ask yourself, is this the story I want to tell? Is the story I'm saying in my mind the story that I want to live? You have a choice. Now listen, my throat chakra is going crazy. Also, I don't believe in coincidences, right? Here I'm talking about communication, and I'm having trouble talking. And then my dogs are going crazy. So there seems to be, again, this like erratic, eccentric, like distractive type of energy going on here. So let's go into the emotional space, 8 of Pentacles. Let's go a little bit deeper here. The Queen of Wands. The Knight of Wands. Gosh, the 8 of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles. Why the 8 of Swords? What are you holding on to, Scorpio? You're holding on to something and it's killing you. It's putting blockages up. Okay? They're giving me a song. Doesn't matter where you are. Remind me to forget. Remind me to forget. Now, I got that in another sign's read. I even titled their reading, Remind Me to Forget. And I believe it was Libra. If you're connecting with Libra or have that in your chart, check it out. So anyways, on an emotional level, I feel like you've done some work here on yourself. Yes. As far as like building your confidence up and maybe even taking some action on some goals that you've been needing to take action on, or some things you've been putting on the back burner is what I'm getting. But there's this headspace energy showing up even in the emotional space. So it's like the major thing that's holding you back right now, Scorpio, is your mindset. And because you're a fixed sign, it can be difficult for you to change your mind once you have it set on something. Once you have a set belief about self, it's really hard to change that belief, right? Especially if it's a belief you've been telling yourself for a while, especially if it's a belief that was ingrained into you by someone you love, but whatever this belief is that you're holding on to, it's not serving you, and it's not in your highest good to continue to hold on to this. And this has to deal with like believing your insecurities, like believing the bad things about you, or that you are bad, or that bad things happen to you, and only you, when bad things happen to everyone, right, to some degree or another. But it's like, let go of that rhetoric, let go of that internal dialogue, because it's not serving you, it's blocking you. And what is it blocking you from? It's blocking you from truly discovering who you really are, for one, but also pulling in the life that is most aligned with your highest desire and your highest good. But you have to be a match to your highest good. And how do you do that? You got to be good to self. You got to be good to yourself. You have to tell yourself kind and nice things. You have to understand that if people or your parents or a lover or whoever, spoke bad about you or had bad things to say about you, that it's not personal to you. It's personal to their plight. It's personal to them, and not to adopt that as part of your character. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we lose our authentic self because we believe what other people say about us, or we start to play the character that we think people expect of us, but it's just a character. It's a facade. It's not really who you are, right? So it's about reconnecting with the true essence of who you really are and who you came to this life to be. Let's look at the big spiritual picture then. 5 of Wands. Okay, I'm getting another message about somebody behaving out of character. I don't know if this is you or somebody you're connecting with, but acting out of character. I don't know, take it or leave it. 5 of Wands, the Lovers. Woo! Watch for conflict in relationships during this time frame, especially if you have a past history with a person here. Or in the past you've had issues that might resurface during this time frame. Talk it out is what I'm hearing. Be your authentic emotional self, all right? So some of you, there seems to be conflict erupting within relationships here, or a specific relationship. And if you share history with this person, or you're even tied to them through like family or something of that nature, it's worth talking it out. Like, it's worth expressing yourself. Don't shut down, Scorpio. Because sometimes, I know Scorpio energy pretty well. Sometimes when conflict brews, you just want to shut down or remove yourself, which is fine if you need to. It's better than erupting or saying something you regret. Don't get me wrong. But, after you take some time to do that, then it's time to open up. It's time to be vulnerable. And, you don't want to go to the grave thinking about, what if I said that? What if I would have done that? You know, like, what ifs are the worst in life? You know what I mean? Ooh, the Queen of Cups came out. Because it's often the things that we don't say and don't do that we regret, not necessarily the things that we do. So I'm a big fan of, like, just take the leap, take the risk. And I know everybody has their own perspective on that, but honestly, I would rather say I did it and failed than I didn't do it at all. And so it's like that type of vibe coming through Scorpio of, like, which would you rather? Because some of you have played that game in the past and then you had to bury something that was unresolved, and that will eat you up alive, you know? So now there's an opportunity here to make a different choice, right? And to genuinely and authentically express your emotions. And there's someone here, Scorpio, I have the King and the Queen of Cups out, that is a match to you right now. Okay, some of you, this is like a divine counterpart, soulmate type of energy. I've got the Lovers card out as well. But it doesn't even have to be an intimate partner. It could be a friend or a family member. But there is someone showing up here that's a match to you, Scorpio. And that understands you, will understand you, will know where you're coming from, you know. There's a very strong tie here with whoever this is, very strong connection. And like I said, some of you, yeah, it's romantic, but for others of you, it could even be a sibling or somebody in the family or children maybe. I'm not sure, but it's available to you. Like, you can squash something here. But first, you got to squash the internal conflict, right? So get right with yourself. They say, get right with yourself, get right with God. Get right with yourself, and then it'll get right with others, you know, or like there'll be balance brought to a situation here, Scorpio. And some big changes, like I said, as soon as you kind of relinquish, let yourself off the hook a little bit. Be kinder to yourself. Don't be so fixated on something, you know? If it hurts when you think about it, then change it. If you can't change it, then you got to change your mind about it. And those are the only choices that you have in life anyways, right, Scorpio? But I do feel, like I said, an opportunity to connect here and to genuinely just be yourself, say what you're feeling, say what you're thinking, but wait till the timing is right, right? So don't do this while you're in a state of resistance, while you're in a state of fatigue. Wait until you've cleared the energy, slept good, or meditated, and then get into alignment, and then. That's the encouragement here. So, law of attraction. What's the law of attraction have to say about this? It says, I have the power to direct my own thoughts. Wasn't that what I was just saying? That's how I started the reading. It says, your thoughts do create the reality that you live. And one of the most exciting things about beginning the process of deliberately focusing thought is that law of attraction will bring you evidence of your improved thought immediately. And while old patterns may be hard to break, and you may slip back into old patterns from time to time, evidence of your effort will be undeniable to you. And before long, with much less effort than you spend trying to dodge a negative conversation or train another into better behavior, all of your relationships will improve. This could not be a more perfect card for the reading I just did. So essentially what it's saying is, if you improve your thoughts about it, the situation will improve. But if you've had a lot of practiced habitual thoughts that are in opposition of what you want, negative thoughts, even beliefs that you've carried for a while, it's not going to change overnight. Like, you're not going to go to bed a negative Nancy and wake up, you know, a positive Patty, right? But But you can make small incremental changes to the way that you think. And over time, it will become easier and easier and easier to change that thought process. And as you do that, watch as your life changes and improves without you having to do much of anything else. So, Scorpio. Wow. Zodiac signs that you might be dealing with or have in your own birth chart. I've got all the water elements out. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I have Aries and Libra and Gemini here. Sagittarius, Aries. And I felt a Virgo reference. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it did resonate, please do let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give me a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram for more fun stuff, as I do have videos over there as well. Tarot Time with Dana is the name of all my pages, linked down below, as well as in the About section, where you can find the donation link. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can do so there. Otherwise, I'm wishing you the very, very best, Scorpio. And until next time, my friends, namaste.